What's up, Francis?
I'm glad you got the name right on the second.
Of course. How are you?
Pronunciation. I'm good. I'm super nervous.
Don't be nervous. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. I just want to let you know it's truly a pleasure to watch you help people. I really appreciate what it is that you do.
If you could send me a quick email that actually tells me what it is that I do, because I'm still trying to figure that part out. I feel like I talk on the phone for a living. No, hey, thank you so much. That means the world to me. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, so how can I help you? What's up?
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. One is, when is a good time to tell someone that you're dating you have cancer? I have cancer. And then two, what steps should I avoid in the future, dating-wise, to avoid the mistakes that I've made in the past?
Those seem like two really disparate, like very different answers. Are they? I mean, I'm sorry, different questions. Tell me about cancer.
So I was diagnosed in 2022. I ended up with 6 months of chemo, double mastectomy, radiation, more chemo. Finished the chemo last year and did reconstructive surgery last winter. So,
have you exhaled yet?
I exhaled after I had my first follow-up appointment. That was a big exhale, and everything was clear.
Are you at 3 months still, or are you up to 6 months now?
6 months.
Okay.
Yep.
Everything looks good? Everybody's optimistic?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Now, how long have you believed that you were the problem?
A long time.
A long time.
And I had anxiety before I got cancer, but then cancer was like,
of course you did.
My beer.
Well, I mean, that's just what your body will do. I mean, have you thought you were something wrong with you your whole life?
Yeah.
How deep-seated is that?
Pretty deep.
Like, it's bedrock for you. Who in the world told you that nonsense?
I think it was more my parents weren't around.
Okay.
At all.
Did you experience any sort of abuse as a kid?
I don't think abuse, but my dad left to work out of state, and I had a really hard time with that.
Sure.
He would go away for months, and then my mom took second shift job, so my siblings and I were all alone.
Okay.
And then my older sister that took care of us, she was also bulimic, and she would take us out on her binge runs and then purge.
Yeah.
So it was almost like I didn't want to bother anybody.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. And you bottled every bit of that up.
Yep.
Now, people who are listening want to know how I got there so fast. Here's how the first question you ask me is, when I'm dating somebody, when do I tell them I had cancer? For your whole life, you've been leading with the worst thing. You feel like you have to get it all out on the table, all the bad stuff about you, because you're so unlovable. No one would ever want to be around you. And then your second question was, how do I keep making the same mistakes over again? My guess is you self-sabotage and burn relationships as they're going, just so they don't crash. Is that true?
I'm either super anxious with somebody I'm really into, or I'm not like super into somebody, and it's more calm, if that makes sense. But
yeah, totally.
I also was reading a book about attachment styles, and obviously I'm anxious, but I had that happen with my dad, and he was never really there for me. When I asked him his opinion, he said he wouldn't give it to me. He wanted to make my own. He wanted me to make my own decisions. He didn't want to influence them. So I just stopped going to him with anything because he wouldn't help. So I got married really young because my husband was super in a secure family. His dad was like my dad. He was awesome. I could go to him with anything. But things changed so much he ended up switching personalities almost and started talking about killing people. And I asked him to stop. He said it was normal. All of his friends did it. And then I was like, I went to a counselor and she's like, that is not normal. You need to get out of there.
Yeah, good for you. How long ago was that?
I left in 2006.
Okay. How long did you blame yourself for it? Your bad judgment? How long did you blame yourself for that?
Oh. Well, I always feel like I could have done something different. I could have reacted stronger sooner.
Somehow you made that your fault too. A guy talking about murdering people. You figured out a way to make that about that you screwed something up. And then so I'm coming to this, and this is going to be a sensitive conversation. Is that okay if we go here?
Yeah.
Okay. Breast cancer, the C word's scary.
It is.
The double mastectomy is disfiguring. And I know I've sat with multiple women who've experienced that, and there's such a profound loss. Not just of the actual body part, but of this identity, this femininity, like all this stuff that feels like it just left, right? Yeah. And then you've got scars. Nobody talks about the scars, right? Yeah.
There's so many scars.
That's right.
And you already have lumps and bumps. You had scars on top of it and numbness.
Right.
You're not the same person. You're not.
You are, but it feels different. And in a twisted, weird way, this cancer confirmed the things you've thought about yourself since you were a little girl. And it's not true. And now you're terrified of having a great dinner, falling in love, and feeling like you have some big, deep, dark secret to share. Like there's somehow, like something's broken in you. And there's not. You beat cancer.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Do you make a lot of jokes about it and lead with it all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to pull chin hairs out when you're doing chemo.
That's a great joke, actually.
I know.
That's a good joke.
I'm going to do mentoring.
Okay.
Of fellow breast cancer survivors.
And
for people going through breast cancer.
That's a way you can find meaning as on the back end of the grief. That's beautiful. It's amazing. But you have to give your body some grace. Your dad took off. His job was more important than you. And that's not there are veterans who go away for a year and come back and their daughters know that they are loved because daddy never unplugged, right?
Yeah.
They got a letter in the mailbox once or twice a week. They got FaceTime. They got lectures, like just dumb dad lectures because dads can't shut up like me. And like they knew they were loved. So it's not about dad had to go work. It's about dad chose job over you.
Yeah.
Mom had to keep everything together.
Fighting.
Yes, of course. It's chaos.
He ended up having an affair.
Of course.
Like divorced.
And I promise you don't know the extent of that interaction with him and your mom.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Lots of stuff went on behind closed doors. All that to say is this. If you follow anything on social media about attachment, there's a guy named Adam Lane Smith who's kind of the emerged as one of the leading voices on attachment theories. And I called him recently and was just like, hey, man, walk me through this. Long story short, attachment styles are not in concrete or stone.
Okay.
They're just like like the left lane is for those going faster and the right lane is for those driving slower.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. You can drive slower in the left-hand lane. And so you can identify, oh, my body's got an anxious attachment because two of the most important people in my whole world left me when I was a kid. I've got an anxious attachment because my maternal figure, my sister, was really struggling with some dangerous mental health challenges. And I was terrified in the back of that car. And so now you meet somebody and your body starts to sound the alarms because you kind of like them. Just be cognizant of it. Your body's just keeping you safe. It's doing the job right. It's letting you know, hey, Francis, love gets us killed, remember? And you're like trying to grab his hand or something. And it's going to make you as anxious as possible to get you out of that situation. Here, all the things I'm telling you is this. You won't have peace until you decide to stop fighting Francis. Francis is good. Francis is amazing. Francis has survived childhood. Francis survived a psychotic divorce. Francis survived cancer. And now Francis is trying to survive dating in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Right? So when is the right time to tell somebody you have cancer or had cancer? Whenever you freaking want to. When's the time to hold back and not tell them? Whenever you want to. There's no rules.
Okay.
And does the idea of somebody seeing you in an intimate moment with the scars and all, does that freak you out? Does that make you nervous or scared?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Can I do something kind of weird? Kelly is also a breast cancer survivor, has been down the road you were talking about. Kelly, can you come on for a sec?
Yeah. Hey, Francis.
Hey.
Hey. So I'm a few years farther down the road than you. Just a few.
She's so much older than you, Francis.
That's not what I meant. I meant in the breast cancer road. I'm about 3 years farther down the road than you. But you sound a lot like me in the fact that there's a lot of jokes. Because if you're like me, then it's like if I come out front with the jokes, then it lets everybody know I'm okay. And like I'll say the joke before anybody else can, kind of thing. And then it kind of, I feel like it disarms people, and then it probably kind of covers any issue that I have with it. Put it this way, because of scars like you have, I get that. In my house, we call them freaking boobies. So jokes abound. And I'm married, and and I know that, so it's a little different, but I even had issues with it with my husband. I mean, God knows he never said anything. He never would. But I understand the idea of, because it's a femininity thing. I don't look like I thought I would, or like I used to. Something in me, did you have reconstruction?
Yeah.
Okay. But it looks different because there are scars. First of all, I'll tell you, they fade a lot. In the past couple years, might have really faded a lot. So just know that it does fade a lot. And also, my idea is if somebody has a problem with it, they're not who I want to be with.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I know that, that doesn't help with that idea, but I also look at the idea that, you know what, they're never going to sag. And they're going to look great, no matter what, they're going to look great. It's the silver lining.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the silver lining. And so I think your attitude about the jokes and stuff is great because, you have to.
Can I ask Francis, I want to ask Kelly about the jokes on your behalf. And Kelly, you and I have talked about this. Every friend I've ever had that had cancer, went through cancer treatment, always finds himself in a position of making sure everyone else in their life is okay.
So much.
Your job is to make sure all the friends are okay and the coworkers are, oh my gosh. And so I almost feel like jokes become this, it's like chapstick for chapped lips just to make sure all social situations are cool.
Right.
And I just want to tell, I want to tell Francis, that's not your job.
But it becomes this because it's everybody else's emotions are exhausting. Taking care of everybody else's emotions. So if I make the joke, we all know that I'm okay. And so they can all relax too.
So it's, okay.
Yeah, because otherwise people don't know what to say. What do we do? What do we say?
Right.
We don't know how to handle this. Okay, I'll make a joke. You'll know I'm okay. We can all go back to our lives.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, she's cool. She
exactly
made jokes. Yeah, she's cool. She's fine. She made jokes. We're all good. And
when that one idiot makes the wrong joke, you can say, that's too far. These are my jokes to make.
Yeah. And I'll be like, really?
Yeah.
All right.
And
Yeah.
As Kelly does frequently, she calls HR. So there we go.
If I did that, it would just be a constant conversation.
Kelly's
so I
never
don't.
called HR. She
Nope.
can't. She's not allowed in the building. All right. So Francis.
Yeah. What things should I be working on with a counselor?
Most of the people I've met with over the years who either had cancer or were about to pass from cancer, there's a sense of being betrayed by their own body. Like, we're an embodied experience, and my body did this to me. And so it pulls the tether on just walking through life because you can't trust the one person that you should be able to trust, which is you. And so I think with a counselor, I think being able to talk through learning to practice, learning to trust yourself again. The second thing is not catastrophizing and worst case scenarioing relationships, romantic relationships, dating. It's a mess, right? It's the worst.
Yeah.
And so
it is, and it takes a long time when you're online dating.
Ah, jeez. Can I tell you something?
Figure people out.
I would love you just to go meet people in real life.
Yeah, I know.
You've probably heard me talk about anxiety, and I'll just give you a 2-second quick primer. When you avoid social situations because they make you anxious, your body wins and it actually reinforces the anxiety response. It doesn't want you being around people because you were around your dad and he left. You're around your mom and she went to work. And you're around your sister and she wasn't well. You're around a husband and he tried to kill people. Your body knows people aren't okay. And so when you go to be in a public setting, you go to a local church, you go to a meetup, you go to a small concert, a singer-songwriter thing, you ask a group of colleagues at work, hey, let's go out, whatever weird thing you're into. You join a bowling league. I don't know what you're into, but you do. Your body will try to get your attention and say, don't do this. Look at all the other evidence we have in our life of how this has gone wrong. And if you don't go, your body relaxes and goes, all right, we got her. We know how to keep her from getting hurt again. We just sound these anxiety alarms. And so the only way to get that social anxiety to stop beating your door down is to head right out through it. Sometimes that's putting it on the calendar and getting a close friend. We are going to go to X honky tonk and we're going to dance. We are going to a karaoke night and I will sing 2 songs and I will go home and throw up in my bed, but I'm going to do it, right? But you're practicing putting yourself out there, feeling that anxiety and letting your body know this following statement that's so important. I wasn't okay then, but I'm okay now. I wasn't safe then, but I'm safe now. And that's the other thing you work on with your counselor is exposure. It's the slowly walking towards the anxiety, not from it. I don't think you're broken, Francis. I think you're pretty freaking amazing.
I do some of that. When I go to charity fundraisers, I talk to random people.
Do you say, hey, let's go get coffee sometime, then actually call them and actually go get that coffee?
No, I don't go that far.
Yeah, you should do that. Otherwise, you're going to keep talking to random people and you're going to pass that off as social connection, and it's not.
Okay.
It's a high five.
Gotcha.
It's a game that people play at those events to feel like we were with people. You can be lonely in a crowded room. That's been most of your life.
True. That's true.
Can I ask you one more ugly question?
Sure.
What has that got you? Turtling up and choosing loneliness. What has that got you?
Being alone.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's choose. We can agree that doesn't work. That's not bringing us peace. That's not bringing us laughter. That's not bringing us warmth, joy, intimacy. It's not bringing us any of those things.
Yep.
So let's go choose to be weird. Let's go choose to be weird. Let's go choose connection. Let's go choose, hey, we're getting cups of coffee, 3 of us, let's go. And one doesn't show up, and so it's just 2 of you. And you say, well, this got real weird. Know any good cancer jokes? Don't do that. You'll freak out that poor person. But you're worth connecting with. Fair?
Yeah.
All right, hang on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of Building a Non-Anxious Life, and it's walking through. I want you to begin to follow those six steps, those 6 daily choices. I want you to make them a part of your life, tattoo them on your heart, and make them a part of the way you live. Interact with you. And man, you're going to make somebody real happy. Somebody who's not into murder. You're going to make them real happy one day. I'm proud of you, Francis. You're a survivor. You're not a survivor. You're a butt kicker, dude. Good job.